And welcome back. Norway's Erling Haaland was a standout at this year's World Cup. Both on the field and off the field, he became this sort of like internet sensation with his striking Viking look and goofy personality. Yes, a goofy Viking. But he wasn't the only headline from the Norwegian side.
Yeah, the team's diet went viral when it was reported they had shipped almost 1,000 kilos of local Scandinavian produce. So what exactly is the Viking diet, and should we be mixing some of their delicacies into our daily routines? Nutritionist Gemma O'Hanlon is here to chat all things Viking.
Hello.
What's a traditional Viking greeting? I don't even know.
Oh,
Hola.
I don't pronounce that.
Ask Haaland.
What did Norway do to feed their team that you couldn't get in the US?
I just love this, that they brought their food, they brought their culture with them, and isn't that so important? And look, nutrition, as Haaland would attest to, can be the difference between kicking a goal or not. You know, it's the 1%ers, so it's really important, you know, you eat like an athlete. So some of the foods they actually brought over: Norwegian salmon, which is known as the Wagyu of the ocean. They brought Jarlsberg cheese. They even brought this Norwegian brown cheese called brunost. So they had all these foods with them. Of course, those creature comforts, that's going to help their performance.
Wow.
Yeah, OK. So what does the Nordic diet look like? Actually, this is kind of...
Well, this is it, yeah, on this side of the table. So,
should we be incorporating it?
Yes. Yeah. And so we can absolutely get inspiration from the Nordic diet. So we've got, obviously, things like cheese. Fermented dairy is big in the Nordic diet. So Filmjölk, which is a type of sort of fermented yogurt, sort of milk. It's a thick milk fermented yogurt.
Is that easily available, readily available?
Well, it's here. So you can get it at the local supermarket. Kefir as well is also a fermented milk, and natural plain Greek yogurt. And you know, we're talking about whole, minimally processed foods. So it's not your yogurts that have got all the chocolate additions. It's your more plainer versions that are the healthier ones. Fruits, vegetables like, you know, apples, pears, potatoes. They're big on root vegetables, which is good. And then your cruciferous vegetables, so, you know, kale and Brussels sprouts, cabbage, that sort of thing. And in terms of whole grains, they go for a lot of rye. So rye bread, rye crackers. You know, you often have a rye cracker maybe with some smoked salmon and some cheese. And that's really healthy, whole grains and high in fibre as well. Berries, so wild berries, they're, you know, is rich in the Nordic diet. And then, of course, all your fish, seafood, as I said, salmon, mackerel, herring, halibut they brought over as well.
Halibut?
Yeah.
Because they're your oily
that's right, fishes. Which have got those omega-3s in it. And then even Haaland is a big fan of coffee. He loves his coffee. And even nuts and seeds and legumes are a part of the Nordic diet.
Can I ask you a question, the difference between, say, if you can grab that salmon and do it and you can't manage that salmon all the time? What's the nutritional difference?
So smoked salmon is higher in salt. So it's not to say that you can't have that, just have it less often. The fresh salmon is the best one to go for.
But are you getting a salmon hit out of that?
Yeah, you're getting some omega-3s in that, absolutely. And
if we can't find these rye crackers, could we just get maybe a cardboard box and just cut it up? Because seriously, like...
I mean, they're not that bad, are they, Kylie?
I don't know. Are they high in carbs, though?
Put some avocado on it, put some smoked salmon, a bit of cream cheese maybe, delicious.
And then chuck it out and go to Macca's.
Why might the Viking diet be beneficial?
OK, so it's full of whole foods, high in fibre, plant-rich as well. Yes, there are some lean proteins. They also eat a lot of game meat, I should say, things like venison, moose even. You know, it's the lean game meats that are really healthy, and they're not eating a lot of the processed meats. So it's rich in your whole foods and polyphenols, which are a type of antioxidant that really boost our well-being. So that's what's good about it, and anti-inflammatory properties.
Is there anything we need to be wary of if we're going to start down this path? Like, automatically, am I going to become a great soccer player? That's going to upset a lot of people on my team.
You need to grow like another
well, Haaland's 6'4".
Yeah, will I be able to row? I mean, what's going to happen? Anything we need to worry about if we're changing our diet dramatically because we want to do this thing?
Yeah, well, look, I think obviously these foods are going to fuel your performance.
So this is good Viking.
This is good Viking.
But there's bad Viking as well.
Haaland consumes 25,000 kilojoules a day. That's 3 times what the average Australian needs. So he can have his big tomahawk steaks and huge steak, but most of us don't need that much. So portion control, you got to think about that. You know, red meat is fine occasionally, but keep palm of your hand is a good portion size for red meat, and a couple of times a week. Go easy on the butter. Butter, you know, can increase our cholesterol, and it's high in saturated fat. And also these sort of more processed foods like, you know, your processed meats, salamis, hams, things like that, they've been linked with increased risk of bowel cancer, stomach cancer. So these are the ones to sort of steer clear of. Go back to your lean, you know, game meats and your fish and seafood for the good options.
How much of this do I have to eat before I grow a man bun?
I'll start with the fill milk. I reckon that's a good start.
Oh, yeah, like get some of this into you, Larry.
It sounds very similar to something you called me after the show.
Any other common processed foods that we should be eliminating from our diet, Viking or not?
Yeah, look, I think, you know, obviously whole foods are best. And I think when it comes to processed food, we all eat processed foods and some ultra-processed foods are healthy. But stick to the ones, you know, that are nutritionally rich. You know, like some of these foods, you know, the processing goes on. So we've got to look at the label. Make sure you're talking to a dietitian. They can help you decide which are the right foods for you. And I think making sure you're planning. So, you know, it's often when we get caught short when we're out and about and we haven't got a meal with us or we haven't packed a lunch that will go for the more ultra-processed foods. Whereas if you're planned, if you're organised, you know, plan what you're going to have for the week, cook, you know, those meals, go and shop for the foods, and then you'll have what you need and you can enjoy the nourishing Nordic diet.
And you can become a Viking. Good to see you.
Gemma.
Thanks for having me.
Biscuit, Larry? Biscuit? Would you go with
Yeah, thank you. Sure. What are the...
Beautiful. It's covered.
Thank you, Erling.
Thank you, Gemma. Coming up, we've heard of suffering for fashion, but does the latest trend take it too far?
Whoa!
Why not wearing your shoe size is something vogue. Oh, look at that hair.